Church, in this moment of abandonment, we see the faithfulness of Christ. While the disciples flee, Jesus remains steadfast. He willingly submits to arrest and begins the path to the cross. This contrasts with the failure of Israel under the Old Covenant, where they repeatedly fell into sin. Jesus, the true Israel, is faithful where Israel was not. He is the faithful Son who fulfills the role that Adam and Israel both failed to accomplish. This highlights the central truth of the new covenant. Salvation is not dependent on human strength or effort, but on Christ's faithful obedience. And Hebrews 8, starting in verse 6, speaks of the superiority of this covenant. And this is quite remarkable what the author does here. So look at Hebrews chapter 8. We'll read 6 and 7. Because as it is, Christ has obtained a ministry that is much more excellent than the old, as the covenant he mediates is better, since it is enacted on better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, there would have been no occasion to look for a second. Now, the author goes on to quote Jeremiah 31, for he finds fault with them when he says, "Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will establish a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not like the covenant that I made with their fathers on the day when I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, for they did not continue in my covenant, and I showed no concern for them, declares the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, declares the Lord, I will put my laws into their minds and write them on their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall not teach each one his neighbor and each one his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest, for I will be merciful toward their iniquities, and I will remember their sins no more." A new covenant. So what happened to the old covenant? Well, after pointing his reader to this verbatim quote from Jeremiah, where God promises them a new one, the author next summarizes what God has done in Hebrews 8:13, where he says, in speaking of the new covenant, he makes the first one obsolete. Thank you, Jesus. And what is becoming obsolete and growing old is ready to vanish away. Church, where Christ's work is finished, our salvation is secured. Not through our efforts, not through the law of Moses, which is a curse. Our salvation is secured by his grace. This is a new covenant. The old one is obsolete.